Did you know ISIS claimed credit for the shooting three times?
I know that because I found an interview with Stephen Paddock's brother in which they cite that ISIS had taken credit for the actual shooting.
Yeah. So, according to ISIS itself, they had recruited Paddock, he had converted to Islam, and he carried out the shooting as a glorious act of, defiance against Western degeneracy in the name of the global caliphate. They claimed it 3 separate times. First via the Amaq news agency, again the next day with additional details, and then finally in a weekly newsletter that they distribute, along with the headline, "The Invasion of Las Vegas." So these were reports, again, October 2nd, the day after. There were already headlines coming out.
Bro, even Osama bin Laden denied being behind 9/11 for a few months before he took credit. It may have even been a few years before he actually said, "No, I did it."
That's just how long it took to persuade him.
Yeah, right. Fine, I'll do it.
Right, yeah, okay, you got me. But right away, day after, hey, we did this.
Yeah, but this is how it was covered by the media. Las Vegas shooting. ISIS claim of responsibility is sign of desperation. ISIS was on its back leg at that point. They were losing territory in Syria and various other places, and the media played it off as ISIS is lying. They're taking credit for a thing they didn't do to try to, make it look like they're still a global threat to be taken seriously. But I want to call attention to this because this was the assessment of terrorism experts. On Monday, Amaq, the program news agency for ISIS, called Paddock a soldier of the caliphate and later published a more formal claim. But terrorism experts say this is likely ISIS's first false claim for an attack in the West.
So the very first time that they do it happens to be the biggest mass shooting.
So
in
ISIS had claimed credit for plenty of things, but it was all things they did. It was all things they verifiably did. But then they take credit for this, and suddenly, actually, it's their first false claim. Suddenly, ISIS has decided to not be truthful with us. But I agree that this theory doesn't necessarily hold up because Paddock does not match the profile of someone who does a shooting for ISIS. Some guy who's old, does not have any particular history of radicalization, no criminal history.
Work with the government.
Like, that's not an ISIS shooter. That's a false flag weapons dealer kind of guy.
What did his brother have to say about all this?
His various brothers, because he has 2 at least, I think.
Yes, one was arrested. So Bruce Paddock was the brother of Stephen Paddock that was arrested in October of 2017. Arrested in Los Angeles on felony child pornography charges.
I do have all of that. We'll go ahead and jump to that.
Oh, okay. No. Go back to where you're at.
We'll
I
just,
didn't mean
we'll
to
just
premature
include it in this. Look, what was up with Paddock's brother? Well, he was busted for child porn. Rob, you have the information.
Yeah, 600 images, including those of very young children. In May of 2018, the charges were dismissed by a judge. Prosecutors said they intended to refile the charges, but the case has not proceeded since.
So this falls right into the same category, I think, as all the witnesses dying randomly. It's like terrible things would happen to anybody who slightly deviated from the narrative.
Take a look at George Zinn. George Zinn yells at Charlie Kirk's assassination, shoot me, as he's getting drug away and his pants are falling down around his ankles. Then they take him to the police station. He says he's having a medical episode, so they move him to a hospital. At the hospital, they request to go through his phone, and then he, according to reports, admittedly told police, I don't want you going through my phone because I have child porn on there.
Jeez.
So it seems like this child porn on people's devices, and this is why Tucker Carlson has talked about openly on his show. He doesn't own a computer. He drives a truck from 1985 because they are able to put this stuff on your devices. Not saying that this is what happened to Bruce Paddock, but this is Tucker saying that you have to be careful because there are ways for them to plant evidence on you. And what's the most heinous evidence to discredit a person? Sexual abuse towards children. And it's the one thing people won't look past.
Allegedly,
Brandon didn't pay his taxes. Who gives a shit?
Allegedly, he had all these images stored on the hard drive from a computer from 1993. Which doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you gonna have these whole terabytes of child porn stored away on a really, really old Windows 93 computer?
The guy who tried to get Trump too, his brother Ryan Ralph.
Oh, his son was arrested on child porn, and
Yeah.
I have no details on where that case went.
Now, his other brother, Eric, I found this interview from WESH News. That's in Orlando. That's here. The guy actually lives here. We should try and track Eric Paddock down. This will. By the way, I'm not so. Let's all look at the camera real quick. Rob Bargiulo, I'm not suicidal.
I, Connor Walcott, am not suicidal.
Brandon?
Brandon Asio, I'm not suicidal.
I like to live dangerously.
But, so according to Eric Paddock, he did an interview with WESH News. This is October 2nd of 2017, so the day after the shooting. In an interview with WESH News, Eric Paddock said the family has no reason, rhyme, or rationale for the shooting. They say that their brother did not have a criminal past or any group affiliation. Eric Paddock told the news outlet the day after the shooting, there's no affiliations, once again, that I know of. I mean, there's no affiliations. There's no church. There's no religion. There's no politics. There's no anything. So the family of this guy, and I get it, you don't want to... Like, I have brothers. You guys have... I've met your brother. I don't know...
I have a brother.
You have a brother, Humberto. Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
If one of your siblings committed an act like this, there's a part where I think you would want to deny the existence or the reality of it because that's not the person you were raised with. It's not the person that you love. That's not something that you would think that somebody of that relationship would do. So I get denying it. But to go, hey, the guy has no ties, there's no rationale, there's no reasoning. He liked to gamble. That was the only reason why he was in Vegas. He lived in Florida up until 2015, so Paddock was here. It's not like he was born and raised in Vegas. There's so many weird things that come from the family. The mom coming out and saying that she doesn't think that Stephen Paddock did it either. Like, I get it. Again, the family doesn't want to believe that someone they know and love could do this, but when there's no evidence to support that the guy did it other than the official narrative, and there's so many factors indicating that he didn't do it, or at least didn't do it alone, I kind of give more credence to the family members' complaints at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So do we have any concluding thoughts on that before we get into our final point to try to put a nice bow on this?
No, this will
right.
be exciting.
But before we go, I'm very slow as the internet is. The guys that got murdered, because I was like, it's 8 out of 22,000, and I did the math.
2,200, I think.
20.
Or was it?
20.
How many people were in attendance at the?
Yeah, in attendance. 22,000 people. That's what I got.
All right.
Is that right?
I think so. Or that might be. It seems like a lot, but go for it.
Seems like it's a big parking lot.
I'm stepping all over.
here.
I'm stepping all over your point here. Go for it.
Well, if I
You're trying to say 8's a small number of people to die randomly.
yeah, but it's actually because I did the math for a year, but if you narrow it down to a week and change, it's 2.4 times higher than the average.
Yeah, it's a statistical anomaly.
Yeah, it is much higher than the average American.
Yeah.
Not just dying in weird ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22,000 people. You were right.
So it's 2.4 times higher for if you attended to die within a week. Very weird.
So weird statistical anomaly. We have been over all of the things pointing to Stephen Paddock being a weapons dealer. We have pointed to ISIS trying to take credit, the weird stuff about Paddock's background and family, the witnesses who are dropping dead. But what's the cover-up? That's the thing we haven't really gotten into.
Right.
What was this whole thing about?
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.